indicating wattages and flash points.
Thank you, DJ. Yep.
That's a great
I'm
one.
sure that would be in your report, right? Okay. The next item that we asked for follow-up was the rumble strips, and we did get your review and email.
I had forwarded to the board several examples from other municipalities regarding their traffic calming devices. To be in tune in the year 2016 here, that's what PennDOT calls them, traffic calming devices. If you noticed or took the time to review those, you'll see that a lot of the municipalities, it's the same document, subtle changes. One of the items I think that the board needs to consider is whether or not, let's say you entertain a traffic request from a certain area, one of the housing developments. Most of the other communities will place that expenditure item in their general, take it out of their general fund. There are some, however, and I'm still waiting for other examples to come back, where let's say the community that requests it or the street that's affected is assessed to pay for that improvement because ultimately it's slowing down traffic in their neighborhood. So what I can do is send the board, work up an example, but I need to, that's the other part of the equation I need direction from the board on. Do you want to be able, the board place it in a criteria? Okay, you're on the list first, second, third, and then the township would be responsible for either doing that in-house or contracting out to do that improvement. Or do you want the community housing, the homeowners association to be responsible for those improvements or those traffic calming devices if they're installed?
I personally like the idea of allowing that financial burden to be on those communities, but also if they want a rumble strip every 300 feet, then that's their choice.
Well, the difference is engineering criteria will tell you how often those rumble strips are placed. That's the part that's, you know, the only...
Whether we pay for it out of a general fund or whether that community pays.
Right.
Is the issue.
Whatever.
Send me a list of how many homeowners associations we have,
Sure.
and let me know where it's for.
Whatever happened to the one that was supposed to go in Timber Run? I mean, wasn't it ordered and paid for by?
Cindy asked about
It's
the,
delivered, it's here.
what about the installation? Do we know what?
We don't.
I mean, didn't we order it and then realize we had to put 80 screws or something into the asphalt?
No,
So we're stuck with that now? Sorry, go ahead.
We never developed an ordinance or no.
Well, that was part of the
That was
developer's
actually part of the
agreement,
developer's agreement, that's right. That was,
but we're holding on to it and we don't actually, did we tell him what to order?
Yeah, we did. Well, because we didn't decide on.
You're right,
Sorry,
we didn't decide on the location of the speed bump. There were only two locations in the community for it. So he was trying to get out, he's done with his development over there. He said, tell me where to put it. And I said, I can't tell you, why don't you just buy us one and we'll have it. And, you know, other places put them in temporarily. And then if you have to take them out, you know, you put them in as a trial if it's necessary or not. I'm all for speed bumps if you need them. The only thing I would caution the board, and it's just my opinion, is if you're getting complaints, and I don't know how many complaints you're getting from speeding, it's a good thing to have them. But you just don't put them in to put them in. They are irritating. I drive through a number of them in my community every day, and they're irritating, and I don't really, honestly, all it does is irritate people driving through. I don't think people change their mind. They might slow down a little bit, that's all they do, but if you need them, you need them, but wait, you know, I don't think that there's any one best place to put them in. I think the better way to do it is design traffic calming into your subdivisions, and just by the way things lay out up here with the topography, we don't have many roads that are straightaways. I mean, we have curvilinear roads everywhere. So I don't know. It's just my thoughts.
People still speed, I mean, they
Sure, they do. I mean, but
and not just on communities, they on some of our rural roads.
I know in addition to drivers, they may be able to, but sometimes the residents are
I
saddled.
can't hear.
The residents that are saddled with that speed bump in front of their home, the residents, they're constantly hearing that. So some residents may be opposed to it just because of its location, if it's in front
See,
of their.
that's the best thing about homeowners associations. They're the most local government you can have, and a lot of them are pretty active in their community. If they would have a vote on, decide they want 1, 2, or 3, and they put their money together to pay for it, the township is kind of out of it, and they can basically govern themselves on it. In Georgetown Estates, they have a pretty active association, and they had a big vote on parking, off-street parking for their clubhouse, whatever they call it, the community center. Half of them wanted to eliminate that parking for that clubhouse and let it be for residents, visitors. And the other half wanted to keep it for the clubhouse. But anyhow, they decided that themselves. They had their own vote, and it was a local election on it. So all the plans since the 90s, we've been having all the plans have a homeowners association because they are really valuable. Now, some don't charge a big fee. Others, like Georgetown, has a real high fee because they have a swimming pool and things like that, and a community center. But again, those things are pretty, some of them are pretty active, and they can be pretty effective for themselves instead of us trying to decide what plan should have them and where they should go.
So what are you saying? So we have, just as an example in Timber Run, I'm not advocating for or against it, but we have a homeowners association in Timber Run. Are you saying that now we have the speed bump, we should go back to our homeowners association and they should decide whether or not we want it, and if we want it, bring it down?
Yeah, exactly.
They should survey the residents, take a survey and see how many want them. If 300 people don't want them, 5 people want them, you don't put them in.
Right, and that's what the homeowners association would do.
Dan?
They would decide, they
Probably,
would
yeah,
for themselves.
If they put them in, I would prefer permanent ones. If they put temporary ones in and the salt disintegrates the road, then we got to face with replacing doing repairs to the road.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely.
So even those temporary ones that we have for Timber Run have to be removed before the plow trucks come, correct? So, is that right, Bill?
Bill?
Would the temporary strips have to be removed before winter time?
Yes.
Even those that we ordered for Timber
We're
Run?
to pick the plow up and the plow will unload right there.
Aren't you doing major damage to the road by screwing and unscrewing
Yeah,
the temporary?
there's 80 holes into it.
I still struggle to understand why we told him to purchase that if we're gonna damage the road and it's gonna end up costing the township a significant amount of money. Because we're basically, now we have a $30,000, whatever it costs, speed bump sitting God knows where that we're not actually gonna use, and we let him out of a portion of the developer's agreement. Who made that decision?
I'll just go back and say that when I was trying to collaborate with different people on this, the developer was asking where the speed bump could go. There was no definitive area. We looked at a couple areas that possibly could take the speed bumps, and we decided at that point in time, at least in talking to people in the township, that we would hold off on that. When the developer pressed to say he wanted to get things done, I talked again with other people when we thought that would be a good way to go, because if we were going to do it at one time, the thought was that they would be pulled up in order to plow during the winter time. And maybe I'll take blame for this, but I just didn't want the developer getting away about doing something that he needed to do. So we talked about this temporary, we got him to bring it in. I still think it's useful for the township that if you do get in a situation where you want to try it, I've seen them put in, I know there's holes in the road, but they're small, they're screw holes, and they can be sealed up if it's ever taken out again. But I've seen them put them in temporarily because people, I don't think, like Dawn said, they don't realize what they do to the neighborhood. And if you put it in permanently, then you try to regret, you can't do that. So
See, that's my concern though. Like exactly what you just said is my concern with Tom's suggestion. Like, okay, we're gonna turn it over to all our HOAs and say, do whatever you want, put as many as you want, but they really have they don't have your expertise, they don't have an engineer at their fingertips giving them these suggestions. So then we're gonna have 30 communities in here screaming at us and fighting with each other because we let them go. I don't know, it just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Well, again, I'll go back. Bill probably wouldn't want people building on his roads here.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Bill, you're going to end up with a permanent speed hump or bump or whatever the heck you call it every 5 feet in every community without any ability for the township to regulate it.
If that's what they want, I think, if that's what the public wants, I think that's what you give them, you
They're
know?
not gonna want that, they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Well, the other part of that is the manpower involved to install them and pick them back up. You know, we're the ones who are gonna have to do that.
So maybe
I think we
we go
can
for
invest
springtime on an applicable place that we might try it. Same way you're evaluating the seal coat, that new process.
I would say, let's see what happens at the Klinger Park. There may be, that access road into that back area where the parking lot is. That may be a good place to put it in the park, at the Klinger Park.
Well, let's give it some more thought.
You could put it up there and leave it down. Also, deter traffic from, speeding in the parking lot.
Next up.